So Pete, what do you find when you are recruiting? What works and what doesn't work in terms of sustainability, in terms of a candidate that will see success, and maybe just recruitment in general? What makes recruitment successful?
It starts with the interview process. So once a candidate and a client is able to gauge each other's interest in each other, who they are, what they want from each other long term, they're happy with the salary, or they've negotiated a remuneration package that makes them happy, and terms and
they've
conditions.
opened the communication line there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. So once that's established, and obviously the position description, so if they know what their duties are going to look like, if there's something, I know a lot of candidates in the interview process, if there's something that they're new to, might be working on a machine that they're not familiar with, they'll say, will there be guidance? Will there be a mentor? Will there be a handover?
Okay.
So asking those type of questions definitely makes you feel a lot easier about the move, knowing that you're going into a job that you 90% know, and 10% whatever you don't understand, you're going to get that mentoring and the guidance from someone that's up to speed with the Australian standard and the equipment that we've got here.
Okay, so just getting clarity around expectations.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yep. So in Australia we have three regions. So we've got metro cities, we've got regional towns, and we've got remote work areas. You really need to do your research regarding what kind of lifestyle you want to move forward with. There's some guys that like to work in the middle of nowhere, such as the top end of WA or Northern Territory, even Alice Springs, or you've got the metro cities within Australia and the regional areas. A lot of people in South Africa either come from regional areas or remote areas or metro, so they kind of have an understanding of what they want to do, where they want to go. Not necessarily translates to someone's living in a city and they get a job in a regional area. That doesn't quite work sometimes, but you definitely have to do your research, and you have to understand the environment that you're entering, and that it is for you and it is for your family.
Don't have that expectation set, or you're not aware of what's going to happen, then you have an unrealistic expectation of where you're going to be, and it can be quite different from what you know as your norm. And I can understand that will put a strain on a lot of things.
Yeah, you definitely need to communicate that with your family as well, because they're going to be living in that environment with you.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that it's sustainable and that you're putting yourself in the best position to succeed.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately this isn't just about the job, it's about someone having a starting point of a hopefully very long time here in Australia.
So when we do our interviews with candidates, we ask them, what kind of lifestyle? Do you like the beach? Do you like to, surfing? Do you like to go cross, taking out the quad bikes in regional?
Camping, those kinds of things, because there's different, obviously, landscapes that would align to what your lifestyle is like.
Exactly.
And when it comes to the employer side of things, what do you think is important for them in terms of a successful hire?
That they can do what they say they can do. Australia is going through a trade shortage, so when they do an international hire, the expectation is pretty high. So you want to be truthful, and you want to be honest with yourself and the employer. So successful hire means that you're able to do the key responsibilities that you're entrusted to do.
You can pretty much bring value from day one, I would assume.
Yeah, definitely. A big part is also fitting in. So you want to make sure that you fit into the team and the culture that's cultivated within the organisation and the team culture.
Yeah.
So that could mean, the team, there's one guy on the floor who's the leader. He's the team leader. He'll be like, oh boys, or our team, we're going to go have beers after work, or we're going to go have a barbecue after work, or we're going to go eat out after work. You want to be that, you want to make sure that you are able
some
to
effort into
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of the guys will be curious about your walk of life as well. So it's always interesting to know whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, because that will definitely help you, because some roles you have to be involved, work as part of a team, where you have to get, if you're, let's say you're a panel beater, so there's always a KPI where you have to get a certain quota of cars completed. So you got to do that as a team.
Yeah.
You know, you got to work with spray painters. You got to work with your
auto techs.
Exactly, other panel beaters. Or you could be a road technician where you have to work on your own. You got 8, 9, 10 hours where you know you might only be in the workshop for the first half an hour for pre-start. You pick up your schedule, you pick up your special tools, the equipment that you need for the day, and you're off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, an employer definitely looks at
your suitability for the role. A big thing, and please correct me if I'm wrong, a big thing is that if your suitability for the role from a personality perspective isn't there, then it can also be short-lived, and ultimately that's not what we want.
No, and be prepared to be asked those questions by the client at interviews. That definitely, I've noticed when I first started, they weren't really asking that, but now they understand that, you know, it's not just as easy as
understanding that there's a skill,
that's right.
there's a skill fit. There's more than just being able to physically do the job.
You definitely want to buy in to what the team and what the company and what the organization's culture and environment is.
So, Pete, tell me a little bit about the employer side of things. Where do they tend to lose out on time? Because we've discussed the candidates, but I feel like maybe it's not always just them. There's always two sides to a story.
There's a couple of items. I think one of the important ones is the documentation side of things. So because we've got strict regulations on companies within Australia hiring, so they need to be able to provide all types of documents, and that can be quite laborious and take time. They have to go within departments to get these documents to us, and that can be a little bit tricky. Another item is a lot of clients, specifically the newer ones that are being introduced to international recruitment, they are pretty headstrong with trying to source local. That could be a number of reasons why they do it that way, but by the time they come to the realization or the understanding that they're spending all this money on local recruitment, but it's not yielding the results that they're looking for, then they go to international.
And it's a little late then, isn't it?
Well, definitely. They've delayed their own
productivity.
That's exactly right. And when it comes to productivity in Australia, you know, they want to make sure that they achieve their bottom line. So that's definitely an item that holds them back when it comes to delays.
I think as well that if they are focused initially on recruiting locally, and then decide to recruit internationally, that maybe they're going into it not knowing that there are different cultures, different skill levels. So I would assume maybe that sometimes that also adds to the changes that may happen throughout interviewing, throughout recruiting.
A lot of that can be remedied with us at Dizon, because we also provide a consulting element to the client. Yeah, exactly. So we inform them, hey, this is the DNA of the African candidate. This is the DNA of the Filipino candidate. So we're constantly explaining to them. It's very, very important that we get to know them as a business, so that we understand where we can offer them the best candidate and therefore provide them with the strongest percentage of success.
Pete, if you could give an employer one piece of advice if they are recruiting internationally, what would that be?
I think they really need to come to terms with the reality of the Australian market as far as the shortage of skills is concerned. It's quite large, and it's only getting more significantly, it's only getting larger and larger. So don't leave things too late. You're only hurting yourself, because at the end of the day, you know you need this person. You can go and spend thousands of dollars on local advertising, but the situation is that the talent's not available. You're already in a market where you've got competitors that are explored and utilizing the international market, so they're leagues ahead of you already. So you might as well start to understand and start to invest a little bit of time and resources into how this could benefit you.
Because I mean, essentially, you don't want to be playing catch up.
No, you definitely don't want to play catch up. Not with your productivity.
Nah, because when you're playing catch up, it's already too late.
That's right.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for giving insight. I think this helps everyone understand a little bit more and how to prioritize things when they're not only just considering employment here in Australia, but also considering employing outside of Australia. So thank you for that.
Not a problem.